welcome to Faith Church Online. We're glad you've joined us. Before we start our time of worship together, though, I do want to give you an update, kind of what has become a weekly update on where things stand in what it looks like to be a church family and how do we proceed from here. We've begun to be enjoying time in person together in smaller groups. What's next? When and how might we resume things together in person? Well, I have some good news. I won't say great news. I have some good news, and it comes with the usual tentative, could change, but hey, it's exciting nonetheless, so we want to give you an update. And the reason that things are still changing is a week ago, it was encouraging. We got new guidelines on how churches can proceed to consider larger gatherings in person at some point in the future. Then, just recently, you may know that the government needed to press pause on lifting restrictions, press pause on more phases of the reopening. So that's where we're at, is on pause for now. But we want to let you know, your leaders around here at Faith Church have been in discussion and prayer for quite some time, and we're excited to let you know that we have set a target date of August 2nd. This August, this year, in several weeks, August 2nd is our target date for being back together in person in our building on Sunday mornings. And we say it, I want to explain a little bit about the timing, why I say target date, why it's still a little bit tentative, and I want to explain so that you know what we're talking about, what that would look like. First of all, timing. The key here is that Polk County must be approved for phase 2 before we can begin meeting in larger groups. So watch for that in the news. When Polk County is approved for phase 2, that's our first need. And then even when we are in phase 2, we need some time. Staff and volunteers need some time to prepare. There's a lot to be done behind the scenes. There's a lot of various obstacles and hoops to jump through to make it possible and safe and wise and God-honoring for you all to be back together in this building. So that's why the timing is the target date of August 2nd. What will it look like if that happens, if we're in phase 2 and August 2nd comes and everything is in place and we join together here in our building in person? What's that going to look like? Well, it won't look the same. So it's important that we're ready for that. We can be excited. I'm going to be excited to be back here with you in person, but it won't be quite the same. We don't know all the specifics yet. We have teams of people working on these very questions, but very likely the way things will look different is what you would expect from what you're experiencing elsewhere in life right now. We're going to need to be talking about masks. We're going to be talking about distancing from one another. We're going to need to be talking about a limited number of people in our worship center space, not the usual number of people we can pack in here. We're going to need to have the hard discussion about whether singing is a safe choice in the early weeks. And likely, children's ministry will not be available, at least initially. So those are just some examples of how things will be a little different, and yet we're so ready, we're so excited to make some steps in that right direction of being together in person to worship Jesus together. So after that, we'll just monitor things. We're going to make sure that you're staying healthy. We're going to make sure that we're doing things well in a God-honoring fashion around here. And we're going to watch for continued guidelines and restrictions being lifted by the government. And we'll go from there and as things change. So stay tuned. In coming weeks, we're going to talk more about how you can help us prepare, what kinds of extra volunteers we may need when the doors open, how you can pray for us and support us, what to expect, and certainly we'll be letting you know if there's any changes to that target plan of August 2nd if Polk County is in phase 2. So keep up those prayers. We need them. We appreciate them. You can see there's lots to continue to pray about, that Faith Church would be a light for Jesus in the Dallas community, that even in these decisions of coming back together, that we would honor him and that we would show love to our community. Keep up those prayers.